Hello, thank you very much for watching. I've moved the boat further up the River Soar a little bit closer to Nottingham. I've spent the last week or so catching up with friends, doing a lot more work inside. The other day I had a catastrophic failure with the washing machine. I had a Bosch washing machine on board, same as I had in my house. It's a good 11, 12 years old, and it decided to leak an entire load of washings water all over the floor, and obviously that's gone down into the bilge, so I've been busy soaking that all up and getting rid of it as I was down on my hands and knees with a tea towel picking up all the water. A nice big cruiser went zooming past way too fast, rocked the boat all over the place, and two big glasses and a mug decided to fall off the draining board and smash on the floor in the wet. Now, normally when you smash things, you pick up all the big bits and vacuum up the small bits. I couldn't do that until it had all dried, so that's been a bit of fun. I've opened the washing machine up and seen that the front lip has got a tear in it, and as well as a pipe. So it's time to get rid of that and get a brand new washing machine. More expense. But I've been taking it ever so slightly slower this last couple of weeks since the quick show. Whilst I was there, I bumped into a number of viewers that were very, very close to purchasing Wi-Fi for boats. There seems to be a bit of a worry from a lot of people that as soon as you move into a mobile home, be it an RV, a caravan, a camper, a boat or a narrowboat, that Wi-Fi, you can't get it, and how on earth are you supposed to get online and do your shopping and watch YouTube? There were some plans on the stall at the quick show that were really quite expensive, and that wasn't the plan, it was just the equipment. Now I'm all for getting good equipment and things that last. A friend of mine up in Nottingham said, you know, you only should buy a tool once and get a good tool that works properly rather than buying lots and lots of different tools. I'm all for that sort of thing. But some of the equipment was £500-600, and to me that is ludicrous, because I've spent less than £150 for my complete setup, and I've used different systems. I've used just mobile phone hotspots. I've used little gadgets, things that stick by the window. I'm just about to climb over a stile here, so bear with me. And then the very latest thing I've purchased is called a home router, and boy, it's fast. I don't know if it's because it's originally mains powered or not. Whatever the technology inside it, whew, it's fantastic. And that really is what I'm going to talk to you about today. It's mobile Wi-Fi, 3G, 4G, and how you get it, especially when you're on a steel boat where reception inside is limited. So that's the video today.
When I first purchased my boat, I bought this small mobile Wi-Fi router. The Huawei E5786 supports speeds of up to 300 megabits per second and can either run from its internal chargeable battery for around about 10 hours or via a USB lead. There are basically 4 mobile Wi-Fi networks available here in the United Kingdom. 3G, this has a maximum download speed of 7.2 megabits per second and a maximum upload of 2 megabits per second. 3G HSPA with 42 megabits per second and 22 megabits per second. 4G LTE with 150 megabits per second and 50 megabits per second. And 4G LTE Advanced with 300 megabits per second and 150 megabits per second. There's a huge array of different 4G aerials available. 4G LTE and above uses multiple radio data streams to and from the router. Try and get a router with 2 aerial sockets, as you can take advantage of the faster performance. I had my Huawei connected to my 12-volt batteries via a 12-volt socket to USB adapter. In the beginning, I propped it up in the window of the boat. However, as the narrowboat is a long, thick metal tube, reception inside was relatively poor. The benefit of this model is the twin aerial sockets on the base of the unit. They are a TS9 size, and after a quick search I found a relatively cheap 4G LTE antenna with a long enough cable for me to have the antenna on a pole on the stern of Alice and the router inside. There are 4 main mobile data network providers in the UK. EE has the fastest download and upload speeds. Vodafone is the second fastest, 3, and then the slowest is O2. I researched and purchased a new EE product called 4G Home Router. It's just like a router you'd get from, say, British Telecom or Virgin, but it uses the 4G network instead of cables. It's powered by a mains 230V to 12V transformer. I'll go into how I got rid of the transformer later. The router has 2 cabled Lan ports on the back along with a USB port for things like a printer or hard drive. Under the 2 side flaps there are 2 SMA female sockets, so you can connect in an external aerial. Although you may get a better reception from a directional aerial, I didn't really want the hassle of standing on the roof moving an aerial about, so opted for an omnidirectional antenna with a total of 46 decibels relative to isotropic, or as it's known, dBi. The outer casing contains 2 internal 23 dBi antennas, and they have H155 female sockets on their bases. The 10-metre cables supplied with the antenna connect to these H155 sockets and into the boat. On the other end of the cables are FME female sockets, so I needed to purchase 2 FME male, 2 SMA male extension cables. Don't worry, I've listed all the items discussed in this episode in the description below. I conducted 4 tests in the same location at around about 2:30 in the afternoon. I only had 2 bars out of 4 reception, so it was quite a good location to run some testing. I used a free iPhone app called Speed Checker, and I connected to the faster 5 GHz internal Wi-Fi network. The Huawei in the window of my boat had a poor 3.5 megabits per second download speed and a 1.59 megabits per second upload speed. With the square external aerial, the readings were faster at 6.21 megabits per second download and 14.99 megabits per second upload. The 4G home router by the window of my boat had 17.54 megabits per second download and 9.18 megabits per second upload. But with the new pole aerial it had a huge 56.48 megabits per second download and 39.76 megabits per second upload speed, and remember that's only with 2 out of 4 bar reception. So the 4G home router was definitely worth getting, along with the larger external pole type aerial. Now, of course, reception varies depending on the time of day and your location, but having done subsequent tests, these differences were about the same throughout. Here are the prices for the items. The Huawei E5786 is around about £130. The square aerial is around £17. The 4G home router was free on an 18-month contract. The omnidirectional aerial was £85 and the conversion cables were £7. Before I go into the EE plans that were available to me, I'd just like to point out I've had no benefits or offers of goodwill from EE and have paid the same as you would. There are 4 options to choose from for the 4G home router. There are basically 2 set amounts of data available, 100GB per month at £45 or 200GB at £60. If you take out the contract for 18 months, the router is free. If you choose to have 30-day contract, the router is £99.99. I chose the 18-month contract with 200GB of data a month. Having a good reliable internet connection on your boat, caravan or motorhome doesn't need to cost hundreds of pounds. You could ignore all the kit altogether and simply use your mobile phone as a hotspot if your contract has enough data. Personally, I've been really impressed with the new 4G home router and aerial combination and have had really good speeds wherever I travel.
Come on, come on. Be sensible. Come on, up. Good girl. You worked it out in the end.
As the 4G home router has a 230 volt transformer down to 12 volts, I decided to supply the router with 12 volts from the boat's DC circuit. This is great as I don't need to run the inverter all the time simply to keep the Wi-Fi going. However, when my engine is running and the alternator is on, the voltage can get up to as high as 14.7 volts. So I added a voltage regulator into the feed to force the voltage to stay at 12 volts. This then connects into the standard DC 2.1mm jack socket and remains permanently on. This episode is dedicated to 2 new Patreon top-level subscribers, and they are Candice Darden from Georgia in the United States and Pema Thupton from Wellington in Australia. Stickers have already been dispatched, and thank you so much. If you've not already subscribed, please do. It doesn't cost you anything, and by clicking the bell icon, you'll be notified about future releases. Until next time, see you later.